Well, I'm very much looking forward to a two-day event in the Sheldonian Theatre in Oxford at the beginning of May, when we're looking at the Platonic ideals of goodness, beauty, and truth. In the bit of life left to me, I feel that these are the most important things to focus on. And in a recent book, a rather long book, I have to admit, called The Matter with Things, I was surprised that I had a chapter. I mean, it took me by surprise that I needed to have a chapter in the most exalted place just before the end of the book on value. Because it seems to me that this is exactly what, since it cannot be calibrated, it cannot be operationalized, it cannot be dissected, it tends to be overlooked in our civilization, and yet is at the very, very core of it. So I think the topic is of outstanding importance. I will be talking about why that is the case, in my view, and what is happening to the concept of value these days, and what we may do to reverse that trend, because we can, and it's very important that we do, if we are to survive as a civilization. So it's a very, I think, stimulating topic, and I'll be enormously pleased that I'm talking in the company of some dear friends who are also going to talk on the same topic, and there'll be a long Q&A session. It goes on over 2 days, and I don't think I will ever do anything like this again. It's quite a thing to have organized and to commit to, but I hope very much that you will make an effort to come along and join in. There'll be a very long session in which questions can be asked and I hope to some extent answered.
Hello, I'm Angie Hobbs, and I'm really looking forward to taking part in this beautiful event in the Sheldonian Theatre at the beginning of May. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you there. I'm going to be talking on Platonic proportions, beauty, harmony, and a good life. And in it, I'm going to be discussing Plato's groundbreaking conception of psychic harmony, and how in it he unites his conceptions of beauty and goodness, and thereby offers the foundation to all of us on how to live a good life, both as individuals and as a community. And I can't think of any more important issues to be focusing on right now, given the troubled state of the world. And it's a hugely influential theory in terms of its implications for our education system and the importance of art in it, and the importance of art in our adult lives and in how we design our private and public spaces. And it also is a theory that provides the foundation for Plato's really important view that we should never return wrong for wrong, because if we do that, we're going to be harming our own souls, most of all, more than we can ever harm anybody else. And it's a theory that seems to have had a profound influence on Freud. It's the first time in Western thought that we get the phrase mental health referenced. So it does raise some serious challenges, particularly in reference to whether it opens the door to political and psychiatric abuse. But I'm going to be suggesting that I think there is actually a powerful Platonic response to such challenges. So, I mean, in short, I think it's really, really important right now to remind ourselves of humanity's ability to create beauty and goodness, as well as, so sadly, we have all the evidence of how we are destroying them. But we can create beauty and goodness, and Plato gives us the inspiration and the hope, I think, that we really need right now. So do come along. It'll be lovely to meet some of you there.
Hello there, my name is Dr. Martin Shaw. I am a mythologist and a writer, and I'm delighted to be reunited with my friend Dr. Iain McGilchrist at the Sheldonian in Oxford. I will be part of a longer conference. I'll be there on Saturday the 2nd of May. What will I be talking about? I'll be talking about the power of myth, nature, and liturgy, and how they create both a sense of meaning and value in our lives. Ian and I have always been simpatico. There's an old word, rapport. And I think that we have a rapport in our work. So I will be delighted to be back in his presence, and I hope to see you there.
Hello, my name's David Lorimer, and I'm delighted to be taking part in this really important conference on value and on the good, the beautiful, and the true with my very old friend Iain McGilchrist, who I spent time with in Oxford over 40 years ago. And so what I think the advantages of a two-day event is that you'll have time to digest the ideas and talk about them to other people and to network with other people. Some people are coming from a very long way away just to be at this meeting in Oxford. And so it'll be a very good networking opportunity. And what I'm going to be speaking about myself is enacting and embodying love, wisdom, and truth. These are the three main principles, and in addition, there's goodness and justice. So goodness comes in there, from the Bulgarian sage Peter Dunov. And why this is so important is that these are principles, not belief systems or beliefs. And so principles are something we can all understand and embody, and something which is universal. So love, he says, brings life, wisdom brings light into the mind, and truth brings freedom and strength into the will. And then if you add the necessity of goodness and justice, then you get a complete and balanced outlook for what is essential, not only in our own time, but at any time. And so I warmly invite you to join us in this really extraordinary event in Oxford at the beginning of May. And I very much look forward to meeting many of you there. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jude Currivan. I'm a cosmologist, a healer, a futurist, author, and co-founder of Whole World View. And it's my great pleasure to be with you and my dear friend, Dr. Iain McGilchrist, David Lorimer, and Professor Angie Hobbs for this amazing event in Oxford at early May. The good, the beautiful, and the true. My contribution is how the unitive science of a living universe embodies beauty, truth, and goodness as universal principles. And the reason that I'm delighted to share this at this time is that instead of a prevailing worldview based on a mechanistic science of separation, leading-edge evidence across all scales of existence and numerous fields of research are turning that paradigm on its head. And rather, what is being revealed is a universe that is essentially living, a universe of inherent meaning and purpose, that from its first moment, nearly 14 billion years ago, not in the implied chaos of a Big Bang, although I'm not disputing the science of that, but what I am saying is the first moments are exquisitely fine-tuned, incredibly ordered, the first moments of an ongoing big breath as our universe explores and evolves from its initial simplicity to ever greater levels of complexity and individuated self-awareness, a universe that meaningfully exists, purposely evolves as a unitive entity. Its incredible diversity, differentiated, but not separate from its wholeness. This emerging understanding is converging with universal wisdom teachings and indigenous traditions. It's showing us that we too have innate meaning and purpose, and that we belong to this incredible adventure and wondrous manifestation that is our universe. And so what this does is it invites us to ask new questions of who we really are and how we relate with each other and our planetary home. And it emphasizes the integration of how we approach the world, right brain and left brain, yin and yang, intuition and analysis, that we can bring all that we are into balanced whole being, and that we take seriously, that good and beautiful and true are universal principles, and also that we take love seriously. Yes, a wonderful human experience and emotion, but that underpins the whole evolutionary arc of our universe and its interdependent nature, and us belonging with it and its vast communities of life.
Yes, what particularly means something to me is that this will be taking place in Oxford, a place where I spent 10 formative years of my life, and in the heart of that at the Sheldonian Theatre. And I don't think that I don't anticipate really doing an event of this kind on this scale again, with invited speakers over 2 days, with a panel and a long Q&A session. I think it'll be marvelous. But I now need to, I've been doing public-facing events, a rather large number of them around the world, for about 10 years, and I really need to, I think, get back to more time at home when I'm able to write.